the goal isn't what's going to make you better, stronger, and learn more. It's getting there. Once you get to the goal, it's over. It's done. It's getting there is the most important thing. Even if you don't reach it and start another goal, that whole time you're only learning during the process. You're not learning at the end. Once you reach there, it's over.
Yeah.
And try and take every single thing going to it as what you need to do.
Trust the process.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how long it takes.
Hello and welcome to the long-awaited return of the Kyl Reber podcast. We haven't done a podcast for about 6 or 7 months. And when I was thinking to myself, who would be the best person to kick off this next round of the Kyl Reber podcast, I could not think of anyone better than the beautiful bald-headed specimen beside me.
I was probably the only one that said yes.
He said yes first. There's been others, but he was just the first to lock in. Rio.
Yes, Kyle.
Welcome.
Good to be here, mate.
Please state your full name for the record.
Reoz Moana Nuiakawa Taurua.
That's why I just call him Rio.
Yes.
So for those of you that are new to this podcast, we do a bunch of questions that we send through to our participant a little bit early so they have a little bit of time to think about it. And then they do all the answers and then they leave them on their iPad at home. So they kind of make them up as they go along, which I would expect nothing less.
Yeah.
And my big goal here is we will have people in here who are quite maybe prominent, whatever that means.
Like today.
Yeah. But we will also have people that I have known for many years. I think for Rio and I, we're the better part of 35-ish years.
Something like that.
High school.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. So people that to me are very interesting and people to me that I think have a very good story to tell. And this is definitely not an exception to that. So if you have been listening to these podcasts, you will know that we have these questions, as I said. However, we have new questions. Some are new, some are revamped, and some are brand new questions. But question 1 is a question that has stayed. Rio, birth to now in 8 minutes. It was 7, but we've extended it to 8.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it blows out to about 14.
I'll try my best. Okay. I'm going to look at my notes here, so please excuse me. Right. I was born in Nambour, hospital car park.
Okay.
And I was born a drug baby.
Okay.
So I stayed there for a fair while. I think it was like a month or something. My mother was Aussie and my father married. He wasn't in the picture at this stage. And Mum kind of tried her best to bring me up, but she had major drug problems and alcohol problems.
Did they meet on the coast?
No, they met in New Zealand. My father was at Waitomo Caves. My father used to paddle the boats and Mum was working, she was backpacking and worked in the restaurant there.
Okay.
But she flew back home to have me here. So I was born here. Probably when I was about 1.5, 2, she met my stepfather, Larry, who Aussie guy, met him in Sydney. He was a bricklayer, hard worker. And as much as we kind of clashed, hardworking is an understatement for him, and he installed all of that in me. It's the reason that I think I've succeeded now is because of him when it comes to work. He was a great guy. He was just really quiet, bullied bad by his father, and yeah, drank a lot as well. So both him and Mum had bad addiction problems, but they were functioning. So struggled for the first kind of when I was young. Dad was working for his father. So I say dad, but it's my stepfather. Dad was working for his father, bricklaying, and on the side he was doing letterboxes and barbecues and stuff like that to make extra money to buy us a house, which was great. You know, he took me on as as not his kid, and ended up marrying mum when I was 2.
So you have no siblings?
No, I've actually got 11, but I don't know any of them.
Roger.
So yeah, I haven't met them. So half brothers and sisters. So,
Yeah.
Dad saved up enough money to buy a block of land in Maroochydore and was about to build a house, and McDonald's said they wanted it. You know, McDonald's is on the corner. So they bought him out and for about 4 times the price. Then he bought
That would have been a good block.
Yeah. Then he bought property at Coolum, across the road from the shops at High Rise. And same thing happened about 3 years later. So by the time I was in, I think I did 2 years at Coolum school, he'd had enough money to pay cash for a house kind of thing. And Maryborough was starting to kick off, and decided that we wanted to settle down and have some property, have some space. He grew up in Sydney and Harbour, and he just wanted some space. So mum and dad were up there, and my grandfather, he bought, I think it was 6 blocks for each of the family.
Yeah,
and they just paid him back. So we all lived in one estate out on River Road. So once we were there, everything, I wouldn't say we were rich, but we did well. We did well. We had, I always had a nice BMX and a nice skateboard, and that's all mattered to me, you know, motorbike, and had decent cars and a nice house. So it kind of struggled at the start, but did really well. But it just increased the drinking, and secretly mum's drug use. So by the time, I was kind of always a shy kid, mama's boy, and by the time I kind of got to high school, I wouldn't say as an outcast. I had friends in that, but I wasn't the popular kid, you know what I mean? I was more of a bit of a clown, and I had some really bad learning problems, like because of my ADHD, which I forgot to mention. Was medicated, but I never got my medication because my mother took it all. So I never got to have any of my medication. So I just couldn't function. I was constantly sitting outside the classroom at school. Back then, there was no labels like that. You were just a dumb kid. So
yeah,
which I understand now, that like it's just how it was.
And
you know what I mean? Like,
to jump in there, we've discussed, I don't actually remember us formally meeting.
Yeah.
But I always remember you as not a troublemaker, but like a scallywag.
Yeah, I was always in trouble, but I didn't even mean to.
Yeah,
I was trying to. I was always in trouble.
You like said, I don't remember you being like aggressive or bully.
No,
you were just always in trouble.
Yeah,
always. Just a scallywag.
I was always sitting outside the office or outside the classroom. Yeah, and to no fault of my own, I just could not focus. I had heaps of people that were trying to help me. Like I've got friends still now in Maryborough that were the kind of the nerds, I suppose, super intelligent people that just tried, and I just could not pick it up. I just could not pick up school. And to this day, the only thing I learned at school was how to write. That's it. That's it. And that's capital letter printing. Yeah, that's all I learned. So I come home one day and caught my mother shooting up heroin. So at that stage, I didn't know what it was. I'd never touched drugs. I'd never done anything like that, drunk or anything. And her solution to getting out of being in trouble by me busting her was to give some to me. So I was taking drugs from a young age, and unlike my friends who were kind of proud of it and boasting about it, I was ashamed of it. I was hiding it so well. I just told people I never tried it, anything, didn't smoke weed, and which I didn't, but I'm on the gear with my mum. And not all the time, but it was happening fairly regularly. And it was really starting to affect my moods. I become really depressed and just struggled more. I struggled more with relationships, I suppose, with people and even with family. But my mother was a really good con artist. She could talk you into anything. You know, she was just one of those people. And whenever I tried to get help or tried to talk, she'd managed to talk those people out of it that I didn't need, kind of thing. So that kind of followed through. I remember my father saying, every time I bring a report card home, he'd go, Rio, you got to try harder, mate. You don't want to be working out. Here's a bricklayer. You don't have to be working out in the sun like me every day. You know, you've got to use your head. And he'd say this every year. And then he looked at my year 10s. I think it was halfway through the year, the test. and the report card. He goes, Rio, you're coming to work.
You're coming to work with me.
He realised it was pointless, and off I went to work with him. And then surprisingly, I was quite small. I was a small kid, and struggled. Like I never realised how hard work was. But we kind of it was good. It was a good start to life. I was making money. I'd moved out. I was only 15. I'd moved out of home. Had a car, when you just drove with no license back then, had a car and worked every day, and probably lasted about 2 or 3 years with my apprenticeship. Me and my father were just fighting too much. I'd actually moved back home and we were just clashing really bad. So I ended up quitting from that. And that's when I really started drinking heavily at about 16, 17. I was drinking a lot.
I guess to put context now, due to our age, we're looking at around 89, 90.
I left school in 89, I think it was. Yeah.
So, yeah. And again, growing up in the same town and mixing in the same circles, that sort of stuff was so readily accessible.
Yeah.
There was no, and it wasn't hard to get.
No, well, my mum bought me alcohol.
Yeah.
Whatever I wanted.
Easier.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So that just become normal, I suppose. I broke away from my friends that I went to school with, who I've only just recently reconnected with. But I broke away from them because they weren't doing what I was doing. I ended up getting a job as a travel agent, of all things, with no education at all.
How does that even work?
Well, at the time,
this I did not know.
So at the time, there was they just brought in all the ab study and the Aboriginal stuff, and so they were trying to look. They had this program where they were getting Aboriginal people jobs, and I went in to go for unemployment, and they said, "Are you Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander?" And I said, "No, my father's married." And she goes, "Are you an Australian citizen?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "So you're native to a country, but you're an Australian citizen?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "You qualify." So they put me straight into this job, and I ended up being a manager of the coach terminal when it first opened there, which is closed now. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. I had no, like, maths was out of the question. I couldn't add things. I was that bad, and just ended up bullshitting my way into the girl that used to come over and help me, like to stack and stuff like that. And I ended up talking her into doing all the books in the afternoons and doing the till, because I just had no idea what to do. And they basically just left me there. Just left me to go because the government told them to. So and that was good for a while, but I ended up fucking that up. I ended up being blind drunk, checking in people at the airport with my sunglasses on at 4 in the morning, and throwing up out the travel agency car, and got fired. So that was the end of that. This is a pattern of how my addictions have ruined everything in my fucking life, basically. So that was the first kind of major one. And I went back to bricklaying for a while. Did a couple other things. Sorry, I just gave a quick look. Yeah, so I worked at the coach terminal, then become a builder's labourer, and then become an insurance salesman for a while. And that's when I found my drug of choice, which at the time was speed. And when I took it, it was like a life-changing moment. I just said to myself, this is me. This is me. And I was still only using like once a week or something. Like it wasn't an everyday thing, but it did. I absolutely loved it. And wasn't in control of my life yet. It was just, just there. And I ended up meeting a girl, Kelly, that I was with for 6 weeks or 2 months before she fell pregnant with our son. So everything kind of had to change. Her parents, still to this day, absolutely hated me because I wasn't a solicitor or a lawyer, or they were all private school people. And I'd got their daughter pregnant, basically. So she was just turning 18 and I was 20. So ended up kind of getting all ready for Tom to be born. Got a house, stopped living with people, got a house, sold one of the V8s and got a family car. And little did I know that she was leaving me when Thomas was born. That was the start of my major drug use and my major downhill spiral, I suppose. I started using really heavy.
How old are you now?
Now I'm 21.
Okay.
So I've started, using a lot. I'm just I'm barely able to see my son. And to be honest, I wasn't really interested at the time. I'd kind of slipped into this depression that I just couldn't get out of, and it's the last thing I could kind of think of. Just went from girl to girl, party to party, and that went on for years, years and years. And I was working at Hine & Son at the time, Hine & Son Timber, as in a stacker shed, and ended up bullshitting my way into a trainer and assessor job. And I was struggling. I was taking days off and coming to work off my head, and no one picked up on it except for this one supervisor. And he pulled me aside and said, "Look, I know what's going on." And that kind of snapped me out of it. And I started to cut back, started to do the right thing, had a steady girlfriend, seeing my son. And probably only another couple of years, maybe, another couple of years. And I ended up being back with my son's mother. That lasted for a year or two, and we were both using. And her father threatened to, he was mates with the chief of police and all these kinds of people. He was actually running for mayor in the town. So he had a lot of pull. If I didn't leave town, he'd take our son and put Kelly in rehab. So I moved to Mount Isa where my stepfather was, and he ended up doing that anyway to it. I went up there to get clean. Stepdad gave me a job. Lasted 12 months of me traveling and working with him. Back on it again.
I guess again, like for those listening external to Australia, country Queensland, you've probably got as much, if not more, access to this sort of gear than the cities.
Because there are more mining towns and there's heaps of money.
Yeah.
So for you to think that there's no drugs in mining or construction or anything like that, it's not true.
Keeps them going.
That's right.
Literally.
Yeah. And there's even supervisors, head guys that'll work around it. They'll work around it or hint at you to go home for the day if there's drug tests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which was what happened with us.
Yeah. Right.
I ended up clashing with my stepfather again, and somehow got a job as a manager of a German schnitzel house.
If I can see this list of fucking out of left field jobs, tick.
So I worked for this lady, Ashla, this German lady, and my job was literally to keep staff and clients happy. That's all my job was. And you can't serve drinks unless you're drinking. It's rude. So we just get shit cut. Like
we used to call it in the clubs a host.
Yeah. I remember lining up, like Ursula would line everybody up at the start of a shift. Some of the waitresses were 15 years old and like shots, and they'd be smashed by the time they're dropping plates. But she didn't care. That's just how it worked. So I stayed with that for a while, and I was kind of happy. I was doing really well, but drugs back in again. And it got to the stage where I was dealing and running a lot for different groups, I'll call them, different
organisations.
Yeah. And I don't know, I say it because of my personality, I've never had an issue getting to the top. I've never had an issue talking my way into things. But once I get in trouble, once it gets me again, I'm just, I don't care. It just fucks me over.
As long as I've known you, you have had a gift of the gab, so to speak. This is probably getting a little bit deep too early.
No, it's fine.
Do you find, I was going to say it anyway, do you find that you have that gift of the gab, and then sometimes in the past you've used the gear to what you think maybe boost that gift of the gab, and instead it's blown up in your face?
No, it's been more that it used to, because my ADHD is so bad, it works the opposite. So when I take any kind of accelerant like speed or ice, it actually makes you not calmer but focused. So most people will be off their heads and everywhere. That would only last a very short time for me, and I'd just be, and it'd just be, life was just so much easier. The noise would stop, and I just did it for that. But eventually, if you keep going, you keep using, you don't sleep and all these kind of things, it destroys all that. It doesn't matter what kind of mood you're in. If you're staying up for a week at a time, your brain's not going to work.
No.
You know what I mean? And it's going to go to shit. But yeah.
So we've had some schnitzels.
Yep.
Where are we now?
So that's when I was at my absolute, I think my worst. And I ended up, my son's mother told me I had to go to rehab. Right? We kind of had contact, but told me I had to go to rehab if I still wanted to see Thomas, which was fair. So I go to the Gold Coast with 2 Coles bags of possessions. That's all I had. I check into the salvos, best people in the world, saved my life. And I went there to manage it, not to quit. I didn't want to quit. I went there to learn how to manage it.
Can I ask a real simple question? Why is that?
Because I love it. Even today, sitting here, even though I'm clean and stuff like that, I can love it. Sure, yeah, I had really bad times, but I had so many good times. I had so many good times. And these days, I wouldn't bother because other things have made it life that good again.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have them then. So I've always said this thing that you do what you do to get through. So it doesn't matter if you're drinking, using heroin, using speed, or smoking weed, or whatever you're doing. If it's going to keep you alive, you just have to do it. Like you can catch up later. But if it's not ideal, but it's better than dying. Once you die, that's it. There's no coming back. You can never get better. But if you can pause it, that's fine. It's just, it's something that I kind of just kept doing because if I got to that stage where I was feeling suicidal or whatever, drugs would just come back because it takes it away. It's a cure. You take it, everything's fine. It's paused, but everything's fine. So
it's that, yeah. And like you just said, the way that the brain can just delay all the worry.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything's cool.
It's the reason why most drug addicts you'll find are immature because they don't grow. They actually pause their life. They pause their problems. They don't deal with them, and they never learn how to deal with them. And so they're still those teenagers when they started. They've learned fuck all in that time.
50-year-old adolescent.
That's right.
So rehab did its job for you?
Yes, I learned how to control it. I learned what was the 12-step program, even though I don't agree with it for giving up drugs, but I agree that I think every person should do it, every child from like 12, 13. It's more of a program of how to live life and how to not let people fuck you up. You know, how you should have grown up. And if everybody could have done it, it'd be a better world. But to cut it in at the end of, like at my age when I was 30 or something, I just don't think it's the right program. I know people, they do well from it, or some, but I don't think it's a good program for drug addicts.
So we've done rehab. We're on a management phase. Where are we now?
So my counsellor there, this is totally, they can't do this, but managed to talk my way and become teacher's pet. Her son was a concreter. I'd done concreting before with when I was bricklaying, and I thought, well, I need a job kind of thing. I'd finished rehab. I've been living the program for 12 months. And I need a job in a town I've never lived in or known anybody except for rehab people. So I get a job with them. It was only casual at the start, and I was living in Surfers Paradise and got approached by a lady who was an escort and said, do you want to become an escort? Would you become an escort for our company? And I said, yeah, sure. So I'm working a couple of nights a week as an escort, and during the day I'm concreting. I'm learning how to kind of get a trade. And that was probably the best time of my life. It was just hilarious. Like some of the stories I could tell you.
Because I said, what year are we talking now?
Oh, that'd be 2000, 2001.
Yeah, that was a very cool time to be on the Goldie.
Yeah, well, I love the Gold Coast. It was awesome. And people think when you say escort, they think like you're just a prostitute. I slept with bugger all women. Like, to be honest, most of them just wanted like someone company, or they're in town or something like that, or someone to take over to the family's place. It was hilarious. I had so much fun. It was one of those things that you got paid so well, and there was only me and one other fella, as in the males there. So, but no, it was really good. And I ended up getting a girlfriend, so I dropped that job for obvious reasons, and started using drugs again. So not heavily, but enough to kind of lose that relationship. And I was still seeing Thomas, but my son's mother knew. So she'd actually drive him to the Gold Coast from Reoz, and she'd stay in a motel for the night. I'd see Tom, and then she'd take him back. She warned me to get my shit together and talked about us getting back together. So we ended up doing that and moving to Brisbane. This is when my son kind of started his, I think it was grade 6 or grade 7, like the influential kind of start of his school, and we had plans for him to go to grammar and stuff like that. So I got Mac together, cleaned up, started working freelance concreting there, become good enough to open my own company, and the company went gangbusters. I joined a networking group, and everything went crazy within a couple of years.
Did it grow too quick?
So much. I couldn't keep up.
I remember that period, and you were training with us at the time.
Yeah.
And you were flat strapped.
Yeah. And I was trying to train as much as I can, because in between all of this and kind of my career, martial arts, I've always loved. I wouldn't come anywhere near the place high or coming down. I just wouldn't do it. So there was times when I was never, it's the reason that I didn't progress in my belts and stuff, because I just couldn't consistently do it. But while I was training with you guys, that's why I was training 7 days a week, 7 nights a week, is because I
was doing that. I wasn't on the game.
That's right. You know, and it kept me clean and kept me running, and I had to do it for my son's school was $600 a week, plus, you know, sports, plus all this stuff.
And grammar, or Brisbane Grammar, is probably the #1 affluent school in Brisbane.
Which I learnt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you got the invoice.
Well, I'll tell you what, and even events like the next youngest dad from me was like 20 years older than me, and I was the only concrete there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you know, like,
and you're walking in going, I don't know if I belong here.
Well, no, I knew I didn't belong there, but that shit's never bothered me. I kind of never, I didn't care. But it was an interesting time, because we were living in Clayfield and Ascot, and Tom's going to the school, and I was just still me. I was still driving a Hilux. And
I was going to say, just wear your RMs and a collared shirt.
Yeah. No, none of that was happening. So yeah, but it was good. We were doing really well, and I think just the pressure got to me, and I started using it again. Tom was finishing school and going to uni. He was going to be a forensic psychologist or something, which he dropped out and became an electrician. But once I knew he was on the out, I hit it again. And I won't go into the relationship with my son's mother, but it's on, off, toxic, bad. We never should have been together. And I should have known that by the time when the money stopped, like when everything has been paid for, the houses and the school and that, and all that, I was out, kind of thing. So yeah, so I ended up moving out. Both of them didn't talk to me. Some of my missus, met a girl, Laura, and ended up traveling Queensland merchandising for newsagents and a smoke shop. So if you don't know what merchandising is, it's basically placing things on shelves so they sell.
Yeah.
And I learned that and did that for years. But she was a drug user too. So we used together, and it seemed to go all right. Like, I've always kind of worked, you know, and that's the problem. If I was never the guy, I think I've been on unemployment once or twice, maybe, you know, I wasn't that guy.
And it's that thing, mate, it works until it doesn't.
Yeah. And that it's the money's the problem, because most of the time I've been on good money. So that hasn't been an issue. So that was another thing. And that I just ended up wasting, but I never had to struggle, I suppose. So that went for a while, a few years, great relationship, just ended. I don't even know why. Hooked up with this one of my drug dealers, who ended up being an absolute psychopath. And she put a hit on me. 3 guys come around and tried to kill me, thanks to your training. They didn't.
www.chikaramartialarts.com.au.
Their getaway driver took off, and I actually had to get him an Uber home. So so that's so that was.
We will skip that one.
This girl was an absolute. I'm talking absolute psychopath. That I was only with her for 4 months. It was the worst 4 months of my life. She destroyed my life, and I was using really heavy, like more than I'd ever used, like every single day and a lot.
Could I say it sounds a thing like the heavier you used, the heavier life just was in general. Like, and shit attracted shit.
Yes.
I'm trying not to be too vindictive, but
Yeah.
the circle you surround yourself in is what you ultimately become.
Yeah. Well, kind of. It's what would happen, but I never let that happen. I had to hang around those people, but I never really didn't fully become them. I always had like she was trying to get me to quit work and all this kind of thing because she wanted me at home, help her running. She moved a lot of gear, so and things like that, and I just didn't want that. I still wanted to work. I still dressed decent. I still had a half decent car at the time. I didn't want to be that. And
was there ever a time like, and I said you've been pretty solid, for want of a better word. You always seemed like, and again, this is one of our problems with addiction. I can handle this. I got this. I can manage this. I'm okay.
I never thought I always knew I was a drug addict.
Yeah.
Always. Never denied that.
But did you always think you were, did you give yourself the belief that you were in control?
A little bit. I was never in denial of what was going on. I knew I had a massive problem. I knew it was affecting my life, but I just couldn't get through. Without it, I wouldn't be here. If I wasn't taking it, I wouldn't be here today. Especially at this time, even though it was the cause of the problem, it's what got me out of it.
Yeah.
Which is hard. Drug addiction is really hard to explain. Like when you tell people that you fuck your grandmother off, forgive. People can't understand that, and we don't understand it either.
No,
we got no idea how that works or why.
Because at the time, it's a purely rational decision.
Yeah,
this is very normal.
Oh,
you don't do this. I do this all the time.
You just don't. The caring just disappears. You only care about one thing, and it's not something you can fight. You can't just say, "Oh no, that's my grandmother. I can't do that to her." You don't do that. You just, like. And this is the example I'm using. I never did that to my grandmother, and all my family was fucked up anyway, so I couldn't. And I tried not to do it to people. I always try to put my friends before drugs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things that you can't explain it. And even today, I can't explain it. I don't know how it works or why it does that. But it's not you. It's something that just makes you do it. It's something that's hard. Yeah.
So, as much as this sounds like it's so up and down, we're coming to a good part.
Yeah.
Let's get to the good part.
I was basically homeless. I'd stay in at people's places, and
where are we now?
Now I'm in Toowoomba. I had an old friend of mine who does well for himself and had a spare room under his house, and I just had nowhere to go. So I moved to Toowoomba. I was at Ipswich, moved to Toowoomba. And only a couple of weeks in, I decided his rules were I wasn't to use, so if I was there, I was still using, but not at the house. But I was in contact with a good friend of mine and ex-girlfriend from when I was a teenager, Christine, who's now my wife. And she'd been through a hard time. She'd basically been locked in the house for 2 years because she had a massive, a big falling out with her ex and courts and all that kind of shit, and she was really struggling. And so I said, I'm going to come up and visit you, and that's all I was going to do, come up and visit. So I drove there, seen her, sit down, have a drink of stuff, and it started raining for 2 fucking weeks. I got flooded there, and we ended up hooking up. We ended up talking and said, look, do we want to do this? Do we want to try?
This is back to the forgetting my notes.
Yeah.
This is the universe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, but we ended up, both of us were in a bad place. I was still a mess. Like I was still not all there, and I kind of recovered, but I was still massive depression. I had real problems, and a good friend of mine, Andrea, and Jason's actually part of the club. Great guy, Jason Rossiter. Andrea was one of my oldest friends, and she still lives in Maryborough, and she said, there's something wrong with you. There's something really wrong. We need to. So we had a psychiatrist and a couple of issues, and one of the main ones was the ADHD. And they put me on medication, and everything just stopped. Everything. I just felt so fucking good. We'd started the business, the maintenance business, but I was only wanted to work 2 days a week. That's it, just to pay the bills. Once I started taking this medication, which is funny because it's actually basically speed, but in a very low dose, of course. But once it balanced out, everything just became so much clearer. I wanted a future. I wanted a future with Christine. Christine was starting to pull out of her shit, and we were both kind of moving forward together slowly.
Yep.
And it just kept getting better. I was there more for her. I could, do all these things. I didn't want to go back, so I still had thoughts of wanting to use all the time, every single day. And even though I wasn't, it just always there. It was just constantly there. So I went and got hypnotized, and it worked 100%. I walked in there with thoughts every day and walked out. This is years ago now, and I never had a thought since. The only thought I have is jokingly, right, maybe I should just get on it for a night. I thought, no, then I'd have to get unhypnotized, use, and then get hypnotized. And it cost $350. I thought, no. I went, yeah. So that was that. And it just seemed to, in my whole life, it's always been there. This has always been my life. And then all of a sudden it's gone. And it just cleared everything up. And the business went through the fucking roof. It just went terrific. Christine's happy because she's with someone that's happy, and driven, and she's part of the business as well, of course. And we've just been doing really well together. It's just been amazing how all I needed was to find out exactly what was wrong. And that's one of the main problems. It's not knowing. You don't know, and it's so hard to get. Help's everywhere, but finding the right help for the right problem is really hard. It's really difficult.
Do you find, because you
that noise?
That is our clock that
nice.
I need to disconnect.
Yes.
So it will stop eventually.
Sorry, people.
It's one and done.
Yeah.
So you've been clean now for some time.
Yes.
Do you? And again, we're going like the advice question is soon down the track. Someone who is like, just like you said, like, I can't stop. There's this, it's just always there. And you now have, like you said, do you find that, because again, you're surrounded now by people who are only invested in you being well.
Yes.
But there was a period you were surrounded by people who were invested in you or not being well.
Yeah.
You would have clearly gained friends and lost friends in this whole process.
Oh, definitely. I only kept a couple of mates that still use, and they were the ones that are probably, I call them addicts, they're casual users. Still here today. They've got jobs, they've got lives, they just do it kind of not full time, you know what I mean? And there's only 2 of them, and I only keep them because they were great mates through all the shit that was going down. They never chose drugs over me, which is a big thing for me. And they really helped me out. I would have been fucked without them. But everybody else is just normal people.
And you would have gone through that transition period where there would have been those people contact, and you just go, yeah, I'm not that guy anymore.
Yeah, no, I've just written them off. So I just wrote nearly all of them off. And I was lucky enough that the people that what I call the normal people were always there. I just didn't speak to them because I didn't want them. Same with like coming to training with you. I wasn't going to do it to them. I didn't want to bring them down to my level. I was going down and I didn't really care, and I didn't want to bring anybody with me. So a lot of them knew, but once I explained that to a lot of my friends, it was just straight back. And it might have taken, I don't know how they think, it might have taken a while for them to believe that it was true, because it's been so long, 40 plus years of using drugs in front of them knowing, and for them to think, well, it doesn't use anymore, stop it.
Well, that's what I was going to finish with, because coming full circle, you're living back now on the outskirts of Maryborough.
Yep.
You have a business that services Maryborough and Harvey Bay.
Yep.
Is there ever, and we both know growing up in that town, everyone fucking knows somebody from Maryborough.
Yeah.
Do you
That's
ever?
because everybody gets out.
They get out and then they come back.
Yeah.
Do you ever have the odd awkward run-in?
Yes.
Is it a changing direction quickly, or is it?
No, I don't back down to anybody. So no, it was on the first day that I got back. So I went to Red Rooster, And I seen a guy there who had actually bit the tip of his nose off in a fight years and years before. And him and his missus were still filthy junkies. And I remember I didn't even see him, and I remember them saying, "What the fuck are you doing back here?" And I turned around, I recognised him. I just said, "The nose, mate." He lost his mind and ended up leaving it. That was probably, yeah. There wasn't a heap.
I can't imagine you being a
sniper. There wasn't a heap of people that I think, as far as I know, because I have forgotten a lot, I've taken care of anybody that I've hurt that didn't deserve it.
Because that's part of the 12 steps.
Yes. So even if I don't mean physically, I mean just letting people down. As I said to you before this podcast, my goal in life is to be the person that not everybody, but people are comfortable coming to and talking to and asking for help. I just want to be that person. Even if I can't help, I can put them in a direction, but to be trusted for them enough to come to me.
And like you said too before the podcast, just to be a person who can be trusted.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we take for granted. I even had it yesterday teaching my rehab girls that I've spoken to you about. And I just said something about trust me. And one of them just went, and I went, I get it.
Do the same thing.
I get it. Yeah. Trust has to be earned. Yeah. And I said, there's only about 4 or 5 people in the world that I trust. And I'm sorry, but none of them are sitting here.
Yeah. And it's good the other way too, because I've reconnected with people and people that I trust with, like a good mate of mine, Glenn. He's probably the only guy I trust, or one of the only guys I trust with my credit card and my wife. Probably you, Glenn, and Clint. But besides that, that kind of trust, like that level, and it's good to have them as well.
100%.
Now, to have those people back in my life.
Because not just, you being trusted, but you finding people that you can trust.
Yeah. And they're always there.
And
I just kind of pushed them away.
They were just lurking in the shadows.
Yeah. Like you.
They were being patient. Yeah. I'm a lurker. Always lurking, never working.
Yeah.
All right. So like I said, that was a bit longer than 8 minutes.
Yeah. I was going to struggle to fit it at 8.
All right. Number 2. This is a new question. 2 non-negotiables that you must have/do every day.
Stay clean and training of some sort, either physical or research, or even watching reels of self-motivational speakers, like some kind of training.
So we were talking
learning, training.
We were talking beforehand. Physically, your body's letting you down a little bit at the moment, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
X amount of years of bricklaying and
plus
concreting and
now having the good life. Things like motorbike accidents and shit that I can afford now is hurting me. Like I've broken my back, my hip, and now my other hip in less than 4 months.
Do you find being on that ADHD medication now helps you, like you said, like really focus, like, because you're training your brain as well? Like you want to learn new things, like, because you're the concreting side of things, doing different stuff, the maintenance side of things. Like you said, you've never really done apprenticeships and that, but you always seem to be pretty handy, but just trying to just constantly improving yourself now and that sort of thing.
Yes, I've always tried to do it, like, because I learned nothing in school.
Do you find, because I was just about to say, you're catching up.
Yeah, I learned nearly everything through documentaries. Like when I left school, through documentaries and then the internet. And even with work and that today, if I can do it with my hands, it's it. Got it. If you try and tell me something, or if I have to read it, there's no chance. So yeah, but I've just started reading my first book. I've never read a book, a newspaper, a magazine, anything. I've just started reading my first book, and it's about Elon Musk, about his Teslas and stuff like that. So something I'm interested in, even though I think they're bullshit. But I like the guy. So I've started reading that, but it's definitely made a difference. The best way to explain it is when you're say if you're at a wedding or something and you and me are talking, but there's everyone else around talking. That's what it's like before medication.
Yeah.
After medication, it's just you and me. There's just this constant sound of thoughts, and not voices, but things running through your head when I'm not on it.
Yeah, it's just hard to lock in.
It's really annoying. It's really hard. Yeah.
And obviously, like you said, the staying clean, is that, like you said, there's still that thing where the using is maybe very far in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
but this is just a habit now?
Yeah, I don't even
Because you're
think
surrounded.
hypnotism.
Well, you're now surrounded by people who don't use.
Yes,
That would make it much easier.
maybe. It
Mhm.
never made really difference before, but I think maybe with all this time, yes. Before I've never had. This is the longest I've been clean and sober since I was 13.
Yeah.
So this is the longest time. So it could just be that I've had this time up, these years up. That's made it easier. But I really don't even think about it. I don't drink, and it's not because I don't want to. I need to stop. I just don't. I've had 2 beers in probably 10 years.
Just doesn't interest you.
No. Well, the day that I broke up with my son's mother, I was drinking a carton of bourbon cans about a night, and the next day I haven't drunk since. Now, this may be a coincidence, but I'm pretty sure it was her. I've had 2 beers since, and those 2 beers have been, I'm going to drink tonight. Nah, fuck this.
Yeah.
I just had no interest. It's
just loses its appeal.
Life. It's hard to explain to people that don't do anything. Life's not that bad. It's actually really good when you get used to it. You just have to get used to it. And maybe your life hasn't been bad enough to realize how good it is. You know what I mean? Maybe you haven't had enough bad things happen to you to realize.
Yeah.
And it's not that bad. It's really good. Life's good.
And I think it's funny, like some of the people who have had the most, difficulty growing up, the most trauma, kids growing up in third world countries, sometimes they're the most happiest kids because they're just happy to be alive.
Yeah, that's right.
It's the most basic need is just so cool for them.
Yeah. We've just got too much. And
whereas our kids complain that the internet's not fucking
yeah, that's right. I do the same thing. If something doesn't work in 2 seconds, I'm like screaming at the phone. It's like, and you just think I don't know. Sometimes I think like I got a very simple house and stuff like that. And sometimes I think, I wouldn't mind being like, I've just driven past 15 people sleeping in tents,
Yeah.
What are you complaining about? Get your shit together. Fucking wake up yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're doing really well.
It's just simple.
Yeah.
Question 3. 2. Is it 3?
2.
They taught me how to count. Remember? I did better at school.
Oh yeah, 3.
I chose not to do good at school. 3 people, alive or dead, you would love to have over for dinner.
Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
I find him hilarious, and just the stuff he just gets shit done. Like he just his if he doesn't have the knowledge, like obviously he's a smart guy, but he gets the people in, and it's kind of how I've been trying to run my business on a much smaller scale, but just getting things done. If they don't work, make them work. You know what I mean? Like the internet was shit, so he started launching satellites into the sky. Like, sorry, but no one else has done that. You know what I mean? Like that, yeah. And it's just, I definitely him.
Okay.
2, Adrian Portelli.
Tell me.
So he's a guy that gets LCMT, the car guy. And that's purely for, he's had a lot of little businesses, he'd gone broke several times and built into this massive thing now. I don't really want to be at that stage, but I'd love to get advice from that guy. Like I follow him and what he does just for the money side of things. I believe that anybody who says money can't buy you happiness has never had any. Like if you go to your bank and you got $1, you can't tell me you're just as happy if you've got $100,000.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Money can't buy you happiness, but it can certainly help.
Oh yes,
it can certainly give you a little leg up.
Definitely. I believe the meaning of life is to make as much money as you can to do what you want to do, because things cost money. Sure, if you just want to sit in the bush and fish, whatever, if that's what you're into, but I'm not into that shit.
Do you find you would have had a lot of people work for you off and on? Do you find that capacity for people to just work hard has diminished a little bit? Because again, you said like concreting, bricklaying, it's pretty physically demanding.
Yeah.
Do you struggle to find good workers now?
I've got good workers at the moment, but yes, I have in the past, especially when I had the concreting company, because it was just concreters, bricklayers, roof tilers, drunks, drug addicts, domestic violence, never got a fucking license. They're just the worst people in the world. They really are. And it's trying to get someone to just keep their fucking shirt on for the day. Shoes on. It's really difficult.
I remember a conversation we had recently when the house was getting re-roofed.
Yeah.
And I was having not issues, but just discussions. And I said, "They're roofers." And they said, "Oh, they're fucking way worse than concreters." Yeah. Is it just that thing I've always seen you as a person that just I don't know if you'd say you enjoyed work, but you understood that work had to be done.
Yes.
Do you find that that's diminishing a little bit?
Somewhat, yeah.
Or I don't have to work as hard for that as I need to.
I think people expect more now, but it's the reason that most of the trades are dodgy is because they're pulling, don't need any education. You're pulling guys out of like situations that they could be living in a fucking caravan with no money, and they're going to pay them like $600 a day. You know what I mean? So they're bogan millionaires. So, and they don't better themselves. I was exactly the same. But I decided I wanted to be better. I didn't want to be one of those people. I didn't want to be a drunk and drive around in a 70 model Hilux, and I wanted more. And I think the problem is that you don't have to be educated to get these jobs, and these jobs have got big money, and people kind of flock to that, but just don't better themselves. And it's sad, really, because they could just do so much. A lot of them are still living week to week.
Yeah. Well, because you go from having no money to all this money.
Yeah. And drugs, alcohol, all those things. It's one of the first things I say when people think their employees are on something. I always say to them, do they think they're doing everything? Because that's what happens. They think they're doing everything because they're moving around faster, and but the truth is that they're doing fuck all. They're just off their heads.
Yeah.
And they get this thing that they shouldn't be doing as much as they should be, and all that. Most of it's related, I believe, to drugs, alcohol, even gambling, any addictions. It really drags people down, and all those people are the people that will hit that.
Yeah,
mostly.
100%. Number 3,
Adrian Baker. Ado was a guy that I met probably only 10 years ago. He was car nut. So he had a custom Carlo custom. So he was a spray painter. He had this huge shed with engine rebuilding, spray painting, parts, and just he could do anything with vehicles. And I come across him through another friend who said, "Look, this guy's for you. You need to meet this guy." And we hit it off straight away. We become good mates. At the time, I was using heaps here and there, traveling. Then I was in a bad relationship, or I was sleeping in a car, or I never had him over to my place for dinner. He died last year of cancer, but only he's only 5-6 years older than me or something. Yeah, something like that. But I never got to show him how I really am. So we always had fun together, stayed up and fucked around, but he never got to see
the real Rio.
Me. And I was actually held off on seeing him, and I knew he had cancer, but I held off on seeing him because of that. And I wanted to come back with, and have him come up to our place and show him what we'd done. And him and his wife are both beautiful people. And his wife, I talked to her on the phone. She said, "You need to come and see him now, like today." And I'm glad I did, because he died the next day. But he was just, he wasn't the person I remembered. He was so skinny and all that kind of thing. And I don't even know if he was that incoherent. I don't know if he really knew who I was. So I wish I just could have had him over once to show him what I'd achieved, because even though he partied a bit and that, he had family, he had roots, he had cash, he had everything, he had a business, and he was doing well. So, he had a good life, and I was kind of striving towards that. So yeah, that's one thing I wish I would have done it quicker, so I could have showed him how good I've done.
To get a bit spiritual, you would have clearly the list of regrets forms to the left.
No.
But that's a regret.
Yeah.
Like you said before about training, you never wanted to come to training when you were using.
Yeah.
And you never progressed.
Yeah.
You were, I don't want to blow wind up your ass, but you weren't shit.
Well, it's because I trained for so long. Like, I spent so many years training. No one would grade me because I wasn't there consistent.
Do you feel
you know what I mean?
You fucking turned up, mate?
Yeah. I was white belt for like 3 years or something.
But you would also find, being 51 years old, it's the race isn't over yet.
No.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
And this is where I think
big plans.
We have chats about, age and longevity and all the rest of it. When we were teenagers, if someone was 50, they were fucking ancient.
Yeah, that's right.
But now we're like, I'm only just hitting my stride.
Yeah. I see it as, I wish, it's awesome now. Life's awesome. In one way, I wish I would have done it earlier, but in another way, I'm glad that I didn't keep going. You know what I mean? Like I've done it now. So I always say that now's the most important thing. You can't do anything about the past. Nothing, not one thing, you know, and you can do something about the future, but the best thing is the present, and they call it present because it's a fucking gift.
It's a gift.
It really is, you know, like, so I'm doing good now, and that's what matters. That's what matters.
I think
and I don't regret the things that I've gone through, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, they've taught you, as we said offline.
I wouldn't be who I am now. God knows where I'd be. I could be fat, and lazier and doing nothing. I don't know.
Well, the thing we said offline, there are just things that you can't learn through nothing else but time.
That's right.
You know, like, and this is where you said working with young people, or me working with young people, you're trying to teach them stuff and you would just get a better conversation out of a brick wall. Doesn't mean they're ignorant or arrogant. They just haven't lived what you've lived.
Yep.
And hopefully
they're missing out on things now, like dads and uncles and that taught us.
Yeah.
They don't have that.
No, they don't.
No.
Interesting.
I don't think it's they say that they don't have common sense. It's not true. People of our age have made it like this. You know, we're the dinosaurs, I suppose, that haven't, we need to teach them because their dads haven't, you know what I mean? Like I've got friends of my son's, I remember when he was like 21, 22, that had never used a socket set. Didn't know how to change a tire. Like I remember being in a shed with my granddad and I can drop saws and shit when I was like 12, 13, because we got taught, because everything had to be fixed. But my grandfather had tools to fix tools. You know what I mean? He was one of those guys. And we had to, nobody shows them anymore. So if they're not shown, how can they know? You know, they come to work and someone says, oh, guys like me go, oh, grab that grinder, mate, cut that pipe off with fingers. And it's not that they don't have common sense. They just trying to impress you and they hurt themselves.
It's just not even, I mean, it's that, but I mean, we had a funny instance at, when we were on holidays at the caravan park, 6 or 7 boys, fucking 5 kilometers of road in this fucking caravan park, and they chose the 20 meters in front of our van to play bloody cricket on 2-3 hours at a time. And just the way that they were talking, their lack of common sense, and I was listening. And then there was just one instance where one of these kids, like, they're right on the road, a car's gone past and asked them to get off. And then afterwards he's going, oh, that fucking Karen told me. And I just went, right.
Yeah.
I went, boys, come over here.
Yeah.
I said, that is not how a young man speaks.
Yeah.
We don't talk about people like that. And again, let's be frank, you've hit my car with your fucking cricket ball at least once. Why don't we just think about this and talk about this like men?
Yeah.
And they were like shocked that someone, and again, wasn't yelling, but just trying to educate them. And that's not saying that their parents are bad parents.
Yeah.
It's just
but
maybe,
they might know either. You just don't know.
100%. And as we try and say in here recently, a standard you walk past is a standard you accept.
That's right.
So, you know, like, God, there's so many things. And again, me growing up without a father, like I said, you know, think that mechanically, I'm shithouse, as you know.
Yes, I know.
But I just needed a man to just show me even how to shave. Clearly, it didn't work that well. But, you know,
but someone showed me.
Yeah, that's the thing. We just had to do that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, introducing more of those male role models is.
We need to be more patient with these people and stop thinking that it's just they don't have common sense. They just don't know. If you stick with people, like, it's one of my favorite things at work is to train people. Like, I love it. I really do. And we've just got a new fella start with us, a young guy that I think is a computer program or something. Like, no idea about anything. No idea. And it doesn't matter. I don't need that. He listens to me and that's all I need.
Yep.
I can show him everything else. But
it's coachable.
You just need to, I believe you need to, the only way to teach someone is to talk to them like a 10-year-old kid. So you're not talking to them like a baby, but you're repetitive and you're clear and you're slow when you speak to them. And I find that's the best way that they learn. It's just repetitive until they say, I know, you know, and then you do it a couple more times, you know, like I found it's the best way.
Yeah.
And you can teach them and they pass that on, hopefully.
Anyone can be taught if they want to be taught.
That's right.
All right. Now, where was question 4? Jesus Christ, we're only up to question 4. Where were you when you had that moment that you knew this is what you were put on earth to do?
Now, do you mean to be a maintenance man or to be what I want to be?
To be Rio.
I was in here at Brisbane. I was in Clayfield in my garage. My family were away for a weekend and I was massively depressed and come really close to OD, and I was on the ground dribbling, couldn't get up kind of thing. And I just, once I kind of got up and got my shit together, I just thought, I never want anybody to go through this. This is so fucking horrible. This is just, I'm going to help people. Now, I don't think I've ever told you this, but this was only a couple of days before I come and met you in the city to say, can you help me become a public speaker? And you and Helen were terrific. You know, like you had all these ideas and you're going to help me. And I was keen, but I just could not stay clean long enough. Like this was, what's that, 12 years ago or something? It was a long time ago. And I just could not stay clean. And
do you think fear had a lot to do with it?
No, it was just the drugs.
It's just too hard.
Yeah. It was too hard. Life was, I just couldn't.
Like you said before, but I really like this stuff.
Yeah.
Why am I giving up something that I really like?
Yeah. Well, it fixed all my problems. The thing is that I don't think people understand this, with drugs, it's always F you. Like when family is, friends are, even if you, because as a drug addict, you want everything now. So you ring someone, oh, can you help me out? Oh, no, I'm busy. I'll give you a call back. It's like, fuck, you know, and you hate that person. Like, that's how you think. But drugs were always there every single time. It was my best friend. It never let me down. It always did exactly what I wanted to do. Fixed. So why would I want, you know what I mean? I couldn't rely on anybody else except for that. That was the thought in my head.
Yeah.
And it's true. It was my best friend. It really was. Yeah.
Like you said, the moment in the garage and you came that close, but you had that thought. I'm trying to work on the words here. Was there ever an element of shame with you using?
Yes. Yeah, there was. Because I was a father, I was a business owner.
And like we were just talking about young men. Yeah. You going, this is not what a man does.
Yes. I'm trying to, and that's the reason that I haven't really started anything until now, is because I needed that. I knew I could have, I still helped people then, but I couldn't do it properly while I was
still doing that
myself. You know, it's not right.
Influence
So it's the reason, that same reason with the training, all that kind of stuff. It's the reason that I didn't do it. I just, not so much waited, but I just had to get my shit together. And I waited a long time until now until we spoke not long back, that I'm ready. So this is where I'm starting now.
You just needed a buffer. Yeah,
I needed that time to be able to be an example, to be able to, you can't tell people what to do if you're not doing it yourself.
100%.
You know what I mean? So, well, they're not going to listen to you.
No.
So I knew then that that's what I wanted to do. I've always wanted to help people, but that was the time when I thought, I don't want anybody to go through this. If I could stop them or at least warn them about it, it'd be a good thing. And I've done that a lot with people. That it's awful. It's fucking horrible to be at that stage of your life where you're on your face on the ground, you can't move, just because you can't handle life. You know what I mean? Just because you think that you can't go on.
And it must be that thing too where
you don't want to die. Like I never wanted to die. I'd never wanted. That was the problem. I was always suicidal. I never wanted to die.
Yeah. It's that thing where we'll probably talk about this at least once again, but when people will say, I know how it feels. No, you don't.
No, it's different for everybody.
There's a difference between knowing and understanding.
Yeah.
I understand that must have been hard for you.
Yeah.
How hard, but I don't know what that feels like.
No. Well, everybody
in that instance, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, even today, we're two of us in a room, we're doing the same thing, but we're both going to have different experiences.
100%.
Yours are going to be heaps better than mine. You know what I mean? Like,
don't fucking make this about me, mate.
You're still, everybody's going to have a different experience and that's why I try not to, like, it's hard because people have a whinge about something and a breakdown about something. And I'm just thinking, man, if I could have those problems, I'd be so happy. You've got no idea. But then you got to think, wait a minute. I think it's not that bad because I've gone through so much shit and made it. It's made me stronger.
Yeah.
This person, it could be their first time.
Yeah.
You know, just because they can't make their car payment, they want to kill themselves.
Yeah.
And it sounds ridiculous to me because what I've gone through, but it's not to them. So you need to, just to write that off. Sure, you can slap him around a bit and say, wake up yourself. And a lot of times that helps, but you still got to be compassionate about that. Is a real problem. Someone that can't make their car payment, that might feel like the end of the world to them at that stage. So you got to,
Again, it's what we count as a problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Number 5. Who is the one person that you credit with setting you in the right direction?
My wife, Christine. Definitely.
Why?
Because she was somebody that I really wanted to help. I loved this girl from when I was a teenager. I never stopped loving her. I always wanted to be with her. I'd always wanted to.
Do you find from helping her, you've learned how to help yourself?
Yes, somewhat. But the thing was that she was willing to help me, and she wasn't going to put up with any shit.
I think the term that would we say hard but fair, or what was she just, as we both know, there are people out there that will only help you because they want something back in return.
Yeah.
She was just kind.
Yes, I think the only thing she wanted back in return was a good life, a good relationship and a good life. And she knew who I was. She's been there, like I have been with her. She knew everything about me. My whole life, she's always known. We've always kept contact, and we've kind of got together over years. But I've always loved Christine. I've always loved her. I've always thought she was the best person. And I wasn't going to let it down. I was struggling, and I was, a lot of things were probably fucked up a lot, but it was worth it in the end for me. I know she was at at one stage, I reckon she would kick me out, but she didn't, she just, she got me through. I think she saw that I could be back to a good person. I think she saw it, and I think she realised that I was just so sick of it. I was just so over it. I was sick of fighting to live. I was just sick of it.
Do you think if nothing else, she just saw the good in you?
Maybe it might be back to me being able to bullshit my way out of anything.
Do you think she also saw through the bullshit?
Some she does, yes. Yeah. Sometimes I can still get her. But yeah, no. Yeah, definitely Christine.
But she just wants you to think that you got her.
Yeah, maybe. But Chris, and I know Chris, and you've met Chris, she's the most lovely woman in the world, but she's German Filipino, and she's got the worst temper I've ever fucking seen in my life. Like, some days she's never really got off on me, but I'll hear her, she'll kick something in the backyard, and I've never heard a language come out of a woman that could look at me for. So
is she a chucker?
Sorry?
Is she a chucker?
No, she's more
doesn't throw.
Screamer and user of words. But I'd hate that.
User of words.
Yeah. And if that
Hello, by the way.
Yeah. If that can happen through kicking a toe, I don't want to fucking see what would happen if I did something wrong.
Yeah.
So I've tried to become a better person for her, which would be better for us. So we don't fight. We don't argue. We've been together for 4 years now, got married last Valentine's Day, but we just don't fight. I think we're both, one, realise that nobody else wants us, and two, why? We can talk about it, we can work it out. Sure, we have our things because she's just really organised, and I'm just fucking not. I work at my best when everything's gone to shit. Like with work, all that. I don't organise. I'm fucking terrible. Like with a lot of things. Like with work, everything's kind of scheduled, but if something goes wrong, that's not an issue for me. I don't care. Yeah. Where she's very regimented, and it kind of works good because sometimes I'm going to pull her up, and a lot of times she's going to pull me up.
You're offsetting each other.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's what makes it work. And we just love each other.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Question 6. Oh, here's the one that we were talking about. This is a new question. Rock star or movie star? Which one? Who? And why?
I think Rockstar.
Who?
The problem is that he's dead now, but at his height, Chris Cornell. And it's really sad that he's gone because at the time he had so much influence. I don't know how many. I think he saved my life a few times with his music and how big he was and how people had travelled for fucking hours to go and see him. And you know what I mean? He was just this. He had a couple of different bands, and same thing. Drugs got a hold of him, and I just don't think he realised that the difference that he actually made.
So if you, I guess, something to think of here, because these are new questions, and it was interesting now I'm negotiating the answers to said questions.
Yeah.
From a person who's lived on a similar scale a life like Chris Cornell, what if you could sit him down in a room and beat some sense into him, per se, what would you say?
Exactly that. Just if he didn't realise how many lives he'd changed, I'd show him. You know what I mean? You could, if you put a call out to everybody that wanted to meet Chris Cornell because he's made a difference in their life. In my era, you know,
line forms to the left.
Yeah. I think just the biggest problem with people is they think, one, they think that they're the only one going through that. And two, they think that nobody is there for. Now, there's someone for everybody, whether it be even strangers. Like I've helped out complete strangers, and it does happen. Like not always, but there's always someone to help you if you ask or if you need it. I find, like, and to think that there's not, and to think that there's no answer besides death, it's just you need to realize that that's your problem. Stop there, but then everybody else starts.
I think that's the world too. Again, I was talking to the rehab girls that I work with yesterday, because we do like situational awareness stuff, like someone comes up and approaches you and asks you a question, you know, how to stand. And I said, there's also going to be that person who just is simply asking, do you know where this shop is?
That's right.
Not trying, like, that's just a genuine question. They're just asking for help.
Yeah.
And I think are we getting too trained now that everyone who asks us something either wants an ulterior motive or that's not what they're really asking us?
I think so. And I think there's been too much. The problem is that a couple of dodgy things will happen. Yeah. And people think that's always going to happen. Like the poor bugger, and it's the worst story in the world, but Daniel Morecambe. But the chance of that happening to your child is so minute. It's so small, but we gauge everything on that. You know what I mean? It's so small. You're probably going to do more long damage to your child by not letting them do things than to keep them locked up because you don't want it to happen like Daniel. And it's probably Facebook's the worst thing for it, but things just get blown out of proportion. Yeah, there's bad people out there, but there's still good people. And it's the only reason it's the only way that good people keep going if other people let them.
There's an interesting, I know you love reading books. There's an interesting book that I read once called Factfulness. And it's basically all of that.
Yeah.
Like we worry about air travel. What if the plane crashes? And it's like something like some ridiculous amount of flights that go up and down every single day without incident. But we focus on that 1 in 100,000.
Yep, that's right.
That has trouble.
Yeah.
How many times do we actually see an actual physical air crash occur?
It's like shark attacks.
Yeah.
There's more chance of you dying in the car going to the beach than getting attacked by a shark. You know, like and people do it all the time. I see it on videos all the time on Facebook. Like a guy will be on his horse with his kid on his lap with no helmet on. He'll be going off, but you know, because he's done this. And I'm thinking, but you put your kid in a machine that kills people every single day in a car. You'll do it and you're fine. You'll drive them all over the place, knowing that those vehicles kill people every day. But people just don't think of it. They don't.
I think it's that living our life in fear, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's what the world seems to want you to do, especially the media here in Australia. They live off fear.
And I guess circling back, and I think you, like you said, someone like Chris Cornell, who died knowing or not fully knowing how many people he helped that he'll never meet and they'll never meet him.
That's right.
It's a sad sort of thing. That's just life. I didn't know the guy. I'd seen him, but I never knew him or anything. And I feel sad talking about him. You know what I mean? So it's affected because you have that connection.
Yeah, through music.
All right, question 7. 2 things that are on your bucket list.
Okay.
Oh Jesus.
To get up at least once as a public speaker. Win or fail, I don't care. I just want to get up and try and help somebody. I'd like it as a career, to tell you the truth, but like in retirement time. But
can I ask a question there then?
Yes.
What do you call a win and what do you call a fail?
I do really well. I speak really well. I don't sweat and fall over or faint or something.
Haven't so far.
Yeah, that's right. But there's some of you here.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And the thousands of people.
Yeah. A fail that my ideas and what I think, I know they help people, but in a mass group, maybe it won't work. So the title of my first talk is "You're Not Special." So just from that title, it may, but I'm not going to change it. But it's things like that that do concern me, that people won't get it, or they don't have to all get it. But I need to, yeah. Some people, different people need different things. As I said, the 12-step program works for some people. For me, it did. If I got a meeting, I used to go to a meeting and go get on straight away because I'm talking about drugs.
Yeah.
So I think each person's different, but I just have a different approach. I think it's going to work. I really want it to, but I don't know if it will.
I think it's that thing where you can't also just judge on the first performance or the first speaking or the first group or whatever.
Oh, no, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because we will. If it doesn't work the first time, then fuck, I suck. But it's like, someone once told me it's better to be something to someone. Don't try to be trying to be something to someone, not everything to everyone.
Yep.
Your talk, when you give the talk, if there is one person that resonates in the crowd, and like you said, you're the Chris Cornell, that they come up and go, I really needed to hear that, then the job's done. Can you imagine if everybody that joined this club in the last 30 years never left?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like we had 2 kids come and trial a class, one of the kids' classes yesterday. I don't think they'll stay because I don't think it's for them.
Yep.
And I am more at peace with that than I ever have been before. When people used to not do that, I used to take it really personal.
Yeah.
But now I understand that they might join a club
that works for them
2 minutes down the road.
Yep.
And there could be a myriad of reasons that I never thought of. Could be the simple thing that that club's 500 meters closer to home than the other club.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
No. And it can be you, it could be anything. I always say this to parents, like I always made it clear to my son that if there's a problem, you need to speak to someone. It doesn't have to be me. And parents get this thing in their head that their kids are going to tell them everything, and they're not.
No.
Because the little things that you could just say, okay, to them, they're ashamed to tell you. They think they've failed you. So all they need, just got to make it clear to them to talk to somebody, an uncle, an auntie, a grandmother, just somebody. They just got to talk to someone. Like we're not who we think we are. We're not the best person in the world. It's for every job.
It's a very big thing that, we want everything to be right. We want everything to work, but we got to remember also that we can't be everything to everyone.
No, that's right.
You're going to talk to someone and they're going to go, you're completely full of shit. You go, okay.
But it's just,
or you, like you said, you may not, like Christine, you weren't ready for where you were back when you were teenagers.
Yeah.
30 plus years later.
Well, that's what we said. We're glad we didn't get together years back because both of us were in different places. It might have worked.
It wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, so
probably wouldn't have worked.
But it's just all, as I said, failure's practice.
Yeah.
It's just practice for the next
100%.
time. And man, I've had some practice.
100%. And again, I can tell you right now, you'll walk out of something like, got to do it with classes here all the time and presentations. You'll walk out and you'll go, oh, that was fucking horrible. And you're just like, it was so clunky. I lost the flow. That was shit.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a Facebook message going, best class ever. That was so awesome.
I've done the same thing.
What the fuck? How does that work?
Yeah. I've done the same thing with work.
And
thinking that something's not good enough. And
and they go, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You get a 5-star review.
Yeah.
What's number 2?
I forgot what the question was.
Bucket list.
Oh, yeah. Race some kind of off-road vehicle.
Okay. Is that a good idea?
Pass. Roll cage.
Is that a good idea?
Yeah. So,
for those who don't know Rio that well, Rio and vehicles, anything motorized, have a very interesting love-hate relationship.
And the only things I do have motors in.
Yeah.
I don't do anything that does have motor in it. Not interested. So yeah.
Too much physicality.
Just boring. So I just started a
So
motor.
why you never raced BMX with us?
Yeah, I did actually back then, but I mean now, yeah, like now it's different. Like I've actually taken on something in the next few weeks. I'm going to start bow hunting, so or archery. So got a guy that's going to help me out because I've just heard that it's good for focus and relaxing and silence, like, you know what I mean? So I'm going to try other things, but I just can't get away from fast. Just love it. I love fast.
We all need something.
And I'm not going to slow down and, not be fast.
No.
I'm not going to do it. I'm just, I'd rather make the most of now. Yeah.
Well, as we've said, you got to die of something.
That's right.
Number 8, this is a new question too. If you could live anywhere in the world, where and why?
You're going to laugh at this one. Fraser Island.
Nothing with you surprises me.
Fraser Island.
Fair.
I have no interest in traveling. I've only been overseas a couple of times, and I've travelled around Australia a few times with work.
I know you're going to make my wife angry,
but
because we've been together for nearly 30 years,
yeah,
and I've never taken her to Fraser because I went so there much as a
I've
kid.
gotta do
It bores the shit out of me.
Really? I love it.
I haven't been there, well, since the mid-90s.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we go there. I was going there every year for years, and then I had a big break, and now Christine and we went not long back, and we're going to start going every year. I just love the place.
Where's your favourite spot?
Probably up Champagne Pools and past kind of thing. The further you go up the island, the clearer the water gets, the wider the sand gets, because you don't get all the shit from Harvey Bay kind of flow out. And less backpackers up there. But yeah, probably Orchard Beach kind of area is my favourite place.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, I could easily live there. Yeah.
Well, you can now.
Yeah.
When we first started going there as kids, well,
but I don't know how long for.
my old man was servicing the barges. He was building the barges for Sid Melksham.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, this was way back.
Yeah, right.
Prior to that, it was just you took a tinny over.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that'd be interesting.
But yeah, just laid back, and I love the beach. I just love the sand and the surf, and there's something about it. It's funny because I'm kind of scared of the water. I don't like, not the water, just what's in it. Like you won't catch me on a boat where I can't see land. I just don't.
And you're talking about the whole attack by a shark thing. If there is one guy I know who would somehow find his way getting attacked by a shark, it'd fucking be you.
But I'd survive.
You would do a McFanning and just fucking uppercut.
That's right.
I mean,
yeah, as I say, I can't be killed. I've been through so many things, and I honestly believe now I can't be killed.
I am unkillable. I am undieable.
Yep.
All right. Number 9. 3 pieces of advice you would give to anyone not backing themselves that could help them learn to back themselves.
We have this thing where and it's only because other people that we believe we've got to be happy all the time. And the reason for that is that even though people don't realize, they want to make you happy if you're sad, which makes you believe that being sad is a bad thing. And I think just enjoy the feeling you're with. All feelings come and go. Sad, happy, angry. No one's ever been one for their whole life. They come and go. Just accept the feeling that you're in. If you're sad, just run with it. And you can be there for people, but don't try and cheer them up. The worst thing that you can do is try and cheer them up when they don't want to be cheered up.
It's really
not that bad to be sad for a day, 2 days, whatever.
It's really insightful, because I think we do need to understand that it's okay to have the shits with life a little bit from time to time.
Yeah.
And like you said, there is no one out there, even the most, like, again, we talk about the Chris Cornells of the world, Heath Ledgers, Chester Benningtons, living a life that we go, such the best life. They're really unhappy.
Everyone has problems.
Everyone's got their shit going on.
Yeah. Even the guy that drives past in the new Lamborghini, he's got problems.
He's got shit going on.
Yeah. He's probably just better at hiding them than you are. Yeah, but everybody has problems. And we need to realize that you don't have to be happy all the time. And other people need to realize that people don't have to be happy all the time.
You and I have had this discussion before about things like the Are You OK Day and that sort of thing.
My pet hate is Are You OK Day.
Because, and I'm with you. People ask if I'm okay, or people ask, are you happy?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I know you don't give a shit what people think, but sometimes in a conversation point, we feel obligated to say, oh yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Whereas yet if we say, actually, I'm not really on the level today.
Yeah.
people either go, "Oh, I don't know how to deal with this," or they're calling all cars. It's just, I'm just.
And you're locked in. If you're
Just
going to ask
shit's not
somebody,
going good today.
as soon as you ask that question, you're locked in to help them to the end.
Yeah.
You've offered, you need to be there. And if you're not prepared to do that, don't ask.
Mm.
And especially for like a thing like a day. You know what I mean? Like if you're not willing to commit to helping out with that problem or finding help, don't ask.
Another old friend of mine, we don't ask each other if we're okay. We just say, "How you traveling?"
Yeah.
It's a very open-ended question.
Yeah.
You can either say I'm shithouse or I'm going well, because yeah, it's just that thing. We have to be careful and understand that not everyone's having good days.
That's right.
Number 2.
Don't be focused on the goal you're trying to achieve.
This is a day-by-day thing.
No, because the goal isn't what's going to make you better, stronger, and learn more. It's getting there.
Mhm.
Once you get to the goal, it's over. It's done. It's getting there is the most important thing. Even if you don't reach it and start another goal, that whole time you're only learning during the process. You're not learning at the end. Once you reach there, it's over.
Yeah.
And try and take every single thing going to it as what you need to do.
Trust the process.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Like my goal to be, as I said, to be a public speaker. It's been years. But getting there, been a nightmare. But
Do you think, getting back to young people, do you think that's been, I mean, and we see it in classes now, kids, even parents, my kid's been training for 3 months, why aren't they a ninja?
Yeah.
Because they've been training for 3 months.
Yeah. But I think that's your parents in general. Every parent thinks their kid's the best. And you've got to stand back and look and say, is he? Like, why isn't my kid, being put on the field every day? Yeah, why hasn't he?
He's not there yet.
Yeah, that's right. You've got to, sure, there might be something like the coach's son or something got in, or there may be another problem, but most of the time you'll find that, work backwards, find out why first.
Being clean, I know we've had this discussion before. Being clean, it's a day-by-day thing.
Mm.
It's not a year-by-year thing.
No.
Or a decade-by-decade thing.
Yeah. For some people it is. They want to, I don't even know when I got clean. I couldn't tell you the date.
Because you do. I know people who can say literally, and
oh yeah,
I know people who 30 odd years.
Yeah.
And they have their anniversary, they have their clean birthday, whatever you call it.
It doesn't matter to me. As long as I'm clean now, that's all I care about.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't care how long it's been. As long as the problem with that's what I don't like about 12-step is that you say, well, what happens if I use? And they'll say, don't use.
It's not that fucking easy, man.
So if you do slip up, it's so much shame and so much, you've failed, that normally they just get on it and don't come back.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But I've always said, like, I'm not saying I'll never use, but if I do, I know I'll get back out of it quick. I know it'll be a fuck up and I'll get back out of it quick because now I know how to. But to say that I never will, I'm not going to put that pressure on myself.
And this is where
I don't care. But if I did, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because I'm not counting days, I'm not counting years. I'm just, I'm happy with where I'm at.
This is where working with these rehab girls, and some of them are lovely and some of them are just so rough, but they're all got good hearts. And so
I've been in living rehab. So.
Oh man. And again, that's the thing, like, it's just great. But you will, because they're in there for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
One will be here for 4 or 5 and they'll be going really well. And then the next week they're not there. And I'm like, oh, where's such and such?
Oh, yeah.
She relapsed.
Yeah.
She's out.
I started with 40 in my first one and there's only 2 of us at the end.
And it's like, well, what happens now? Well, she has to try and get her way back in again.
Yeah.
And this is where I think, back to our experiences and our learned behaviors and our background, if we aren't willing to give people second chances, I think we probably need to have a little look at ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big believer in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th chances. There's going to be a line.
Yeah.
But again, imagine how many times did you go, I'm on, I'm off,
Yeah.
I'm on,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
off,
right.
I'm on, I'm off. And to be realistic, like I said, this is a day-by-day process.
Yeah.
The battle's not over yet.
No.
It never will be over.
No, that's right. Yeah.
And there's not one clean fix.
No. I think it's the more time you have up, the more you realise that you don't want to go back.
Mm.
I'm not going back.
Mm.
No way. This is too good.
Mm.
It's just too good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Don't listen to anybody that tells you you can do or be whatever you want to be, as long as you work hard at it.
Okay. Please explain.
You can't be whatever you want to be. Okay. I'm 51 years old, no education. I want to be an astronaut or heavyweight UFC champion. That's what I want to be. It doesn't matter how hard I work or how hard I train or how much money I put into it. It's not going to happen. So why waste your time? Don't focus on things you can't achieve. It's like telling your kids you can be anything. No, you can't. You can only be what you're capable of, and know your capabilities and know what direction you're going. Don't waste your time. There's, as you know, as you get to our age, time becomes a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah,
it's a thing.
You don't want to waste it. You know what I mean? So, why waste it on things that's not going to happen? If you're serious about it, if you seriously want to be something, it's not going to happen. Not because you're doubting it, just because, like I said, it's not possible. Don't waste your time. Don't try and,
It's interesting you saying that, because that could come out really.
This is the issue with my talk.
No. But the good thing is you've backed it up. You've given a reason. There are things we are born to do.
Yeah.
There are things we aren't.
That's right.
And I will often say, parents come in here, we do 3 different styles of kids martial arts. The parent has in their mind, my kid's going to do karate. They see a jiu-jitsu lesson in the corner. They go, start.
Yeah.
And next minute, they're little petite girls going to dance classes, but also on the ground, rolling around, wrestling with everyone.
Yeah.
And they go, I never thought this would happen.
Yeah.
And I just say to them, we don't find it, it finds us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we've got to be, as parents and as trainers and everything else, we've got to make sure we don't do it to people either. Like I said, telling your kid he can be anything, and he's like, right, okay, I can be anything, and then he doesn't get there. Where do you think he's going to go?
You lied to me.
Down. Yeah. It's going to go down. So it's just, it's not realistic. We've got to be really realistic about these things.
And again, not just us, but there are things that, God, chance. I never thought I'd be doing this for a job. I
remember when you thought you would be doing this.
I never thought I'd do my previous job for 20 years. I remember people saying to me, I don't think you have what it takes to do this job.
Well, I remember me and a few other guys that said you did.
Yeah.
We believed you would. You just need to put that time in. I remember, the day. I remember talking to you about it.
Thank you.
I thought it was going to be fine. Mind you, it wasn't my risk, but I believe that you were successful as part-time. So why not be full-time when you can put everything into it?
Do you find
and that's a possible goal. It's more than possible goal. So it's something that you didn't waste your time on.
Thank you. Do you find, because this is a thing,
our martial arts.
Yeah, WWF. Do you find it's interesting, like getting advice from you compared to someone who's whatever you would call a perfect life?
Oh, I was going to say educated.
Yeah, just trying to be polite. It's that thing where it's easy to give someone advice and never have had that situation occur to you.
Yeah.
You have probably I guess, like, back to your public speaking, you have a bit of a superpower, because you can go, don't do that. Well, why would I not do that? Because I did that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. What? Yeah, because I did that too.
And that's the only time I'll ever tell someone what to do, because I don't want them to go through what I've done, like what's happened to me. And same with work, with everything, mistakes that, like, through different things. Like when I'm teaching people, I only tell them because I don't want them to have to, when they start their own business, lose $5,000 like I did when I did it, because, like, it's the only reason. It's, I won't say anything I don't back.
That makes sense. Last question. Ooh, here we go. This is a new one. If you could write a letter to your 15-year-old self now, what would the first paragraph be?
Okay. I'll have to read this one. Dear Rio, don't be down because you couldn't learn in school, because in a few years there'll be a thing called the internet, and you'll use it daily, and it will teach you everything you need to know about the world and how to run a successful business. But in the meantime, work hard, buy property, look after your teeth and back, and just because you're good looking and charming, it won't get you everywhere.
And that is words to live by.
Yeah.
Again, these are new questions, so I'm working out on answers back to them. Getting, again, a little bit spiritual. I know you said earlier you don't have any regrets. Do you ever wish you could jump in the DeLorean and go back to that 15-year-old kid and say, okay, so you need to do this. Don't fucking do that.
But only knowing that's what people, if people say, would you want to start again? No, because I'd probably do the same thing. But if I knew what I knew now, definitely. Yeah. If I could save myself.
Do you think that 15-year-old kid would listen?
I'd probably make him. Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah. I'd like to hope so. But if I could sit him down and tell him some stories, maybe get him some medication.
The right medication.
Yeah. I think I would. I think I tried just to save I'm happy with where I am. I really am, but I would have liked to do it with all the pain. Just the knowledge of that pain would have been really nice. It just would have made, I'm through, I'm here, doesn't matter, but it would have been easier without the pain.
It's back to that thing, again, talking about these girls in your situation. We're going to listen to people a lot more that have lived life than people who maybe have not lived life as much. We've all lived life. It's what life we've lived. But I think you have definitely lived a life which you're still living. And I think in closing, I think it's very interesting talking to you because, as you know, we've had our ups and downs in our friendship. But that's what friends are. Like I said, you're not okay all the time. There's going to be times where you don't get on with your mates. That's part of friendship. To think you get on with someone 24/7, it doesn't happen.
That's right.
But as I have always said, I never call you Rio. I call you my mate Rio. And how I have said at many times, you are what I would call the president of my 2 a.m. club.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That is
I'll be here at 2 a.m. if you need me.
Well, the 2 a.m. club, for those who don't know, you can call them at 2 a.m. You can say, I need you here now. You can say,
bring a shovel in line.
Do I need to bring a shovel? And do I need to be armed? And how long do I have to get there?
Will you pay for me while I'm in prison?
Will you post my bail?
Yeah.
But I think, having said that, and this is not to say we need to, well, maybe it is what I'm saying. Maybe we really need to know hardship before we can know happiness.
I think so. Yeah.
And
some people
not to say
it's very rare.
Not to say people that have, whether you want to call it the born with a silver spoon in the mouth, whatever. Not to say people who have only known happiness are worse off, but maybe
I think you appreciate it more.
You appreciate happiness more when you've had a lot of hardship.
That's right. Yeah.
Cool.
Now, can I just say to everybody to check out my work page, Naked Maintenance Man, and my dog's page, The Adventures of Graham, the Pit Russell. If you want to check out those on Facebook and follow, and you can see what we do every day and what my crazy little Jack Russell does.
And if you've listened to this whole podcast, you would understand that page is totally normal for somebody like Rio. And to call a dog Graham.
Well, I only call him Graham because my wife wouldn't let me call him Lionel.
So Graham's my dad's name, and Lionel was one of my dad's best mates' names.
Yeah, good.
Rio, thanks, mate.
Thank you.
You're a good man. We've done well. Can everyone tell that he was a little bit nervous, but he got through it? Guys, we'll be doing more podcasts. We're going to work on getting them out very regularly. We will be posting our old episodes to build up more interest again, but you can check this out on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We are going to go and get some lunch because if you can see the size of this guy's shoulders, they need fueling. You got anything more?
No, just if you need help, ask somebody. That's it. That's all. Just ask somebody. Don't go through it. Don't go through it alone.
Sounds good. I think that's fine.
Okay.
We're out, guys. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.